Each month, Annie and I host a deeper dive, which is a live Q&A with an expert in the field of lactation, business, or personal development. The following snippet is from our most recent deeper dive. We hope you enjoy.
Well, hey there, Leah.
Hey, Annie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited about our conversation today. One of my favorite people in the world of lactation is here to impart so much experience and wisdom to us. And like every time we have Kathy on, I'm just ecstatic because I feel like there's just always so much growth that comes from hearing about her experiences and knowledge. So I'm really excited about today.
Me too. This will be Kathy's fourth deeper dive with us, I think. She's been on quite a bit, which has been so fun. We had her on talking about reflux. She talked about um supporting sucking skills when the new edition of her book came out. We did clinical complexities. That was a fun one. And it's just always the conversations with you, Kathy, always go in such an interesting direction because you just have so much depth of knowledge about so many things. So it's like come prepared to talk to you about infant assessment, and we're also totally prepared for the tangents that are going to be, the best part of the conversation.
They're always the best part, definitely.
Oh, goodness. I'm so pleased to be back. Thanks so much for having me again. And I see lots of folks I know. Hi.
Yay!
Let me give I it's the cliche, our guest needs no introduction, but I will read her introduction. Catherine Watson Genna has been an international board certified lactation consultant in private practice in New York City since 1992. She is the author of Supporting Sucking Skills in Breastfeeding Infants, now in its fourth edition, published in 2023, um, which is like the book. She's also a contributing author to both the core curriculum for interdisciplinary lactation care and breastfeeding and human lactation. Recently, she just began as adjunct faculty in the Drexel University School of Medicine Lactation Certificate Program. Kathy's done clinical research on the mechanics of infant sucking using ultrasound imaging in collaboration with researchers at Columbia University and Tel Aviv University. And that means she's seen literally inside the mouths of thousands of babies in a way most of us never will. Um, Her work on tongue function and tethered oral tissues has helped shape how the field thinks about what we're looking for when we assess an infant. So we are just so thrilled to have Kathy here today. We're going to be talking specifically about infant assessment. We're going to be talking about babies' bodies and what we're seeing and what we're learning and how the new research has changed what our hands are looking for, um, our hands and our eyes. And just I always just like to mention that Kathy was my lactation consultant with both of my babies were newborns, and now they are um, old, and it's amazing how time flies. But I still look at them and still see their little baby faces, and when I see Kathy, I still feel my little baby mom self. So welcome, Kathy.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure.
Well, one of the things that came up in that intro was like all this research that you've been involved in and that you have been practicing as a lactation consultant for a long time. And I feel like I don't know if this is the same for you, but I've been in the field for 15 years now, and I feel like really in the last like maybe 8 years or so, we just had like such a surge of more understanding, I think, or more clarity around the things that we're seeing in infants. And I know for myself, as we were creating these questions, I was like, oh, I have answers like how I see this. But I'm so curious about for you, like, how has your perception of infant assessment or the things that you're looking for, and how has that all changed over maybe this last 8 to 10 years? And I'm wondering if you feel the same, like we've had a big
Oh,
surge of understanding.
so much. Well, when I started out, there was almost no research.
Yeah.
We just barely knew breastfeeding was better than alternatives and had some evidence for that, but not a lot. And we had babies practically laying on their back with their head turned and their mouth like this. Fish lips were good. Well, the bottom lip should be averted, but the top lip neutral, slightly averted means a deeper latch. So that's just one example, but mostly the rules have largely changed, sometimes in good ways and sometimes not so good. No shade on moms who are exclusively pumping. It's heroic. But the fear of putting a baby to breast is just huge now. And people are anticipatorily planning to pump and not put the baby to breast because they've heard scary, horrible things. And that's new. And that's a real concern. So, culture marches on, things change, but I'm really pleased about the amount of new research. I'm revising the tools book right now, and Susan Howard is helping me with this one and taking it over because I am a senior citizen. So, I want to keep these resources around, but not be doing it when I don't know anything. So there's so much more research. It is taking so much more effort and energy to wade through all of the papers. But that's a good thing because we're starting to have some really cool consensuses.
Do you have any
So-
specific examples around that? Like specific
Yeah. Finger feeding is really powerful for developing babies' feeding skills, better than any alternative. And there's a nice body of research, particularly from Brazil. Using a tube at breast, using a nursing supplementer improves the number of babies who learn to latch when there are latch difficulties. So there's some really cool things that we're learning, some of the things that we tried years ago and thought, okay, some experts said, hey, this is something we can do. And I had good experience with it. Now there's actual research showing that kids' feeding skills do progress.
That's so great to hear that. And like something we know about babies is like just how amazing they really are and what they're capable of. They have so much more to offer than we give them credit for. Okay, like tangent number one is, so like with finger feeding, how do you balance um the difficulty of getting volume into a baby with the finger feed? Because that's one of the things where it starts to get tricky for people, where you find out they're spending an hour to get an ounce into the baby. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that obviously there's a problem when it's taking an hour to get an ounce in. Feeding should allow the baby to take more volume without respiratory or heart or physiologic distress. So then we look at technique. What I've been doing over the last few years since the pandemic is having parents send me a video. If it's not working, send me a video. And then I can look at the video and I can watch it several times and I can see, okay, we need to have the tube on the baby's tongue or maybe on the baby's palate and far enough in, and where the negative pressure should be in the mouth. So our understanding of sucking and how that works informs our understanding of how we perform these interventions.
So yeah, so good. I think it's definitely a skill that is not reached for enough. I mean, especially I feel like with the kinds of clients that I see, just getting them over the hurdle of doing anything that isn't like what they're used to or what they're familiar with or comfortable with. It's
Yeah.
so hard. But then you let that sort of be like, well, then what's the point in even offering, and forget that there is this really powerful tool available to you.
And that's a really good point that, when parents are stressed, they don't have a lot of bandwidth. So I find that often the co-parent or the dad, call it daddy suck school if it's a dad. Hey, want to do daddy suck school? And, I explain to them that having the food, the milk in the baby's mouth along with the finger, just makes the whole brain light up and come together. And that's Verdenga's research. That was done in adults, but it's true for babies as well.
If you enjoyed that snippet, the good news is that deeper dive was recorded. And by joining our membership community, you can have access to that deeper dive as well as our entire vault of deeper dives going back through 2020. You will also be automatically invited to our live monthly deeper dives, so you can ask the experts directly all the questions you want to know about that topic. We look forward to seeing you at our next deeper dive.